Hey guys, it's me again. So, I hope everyone's been doing well. I know it's been a long time since I've made a video, so I figured, it's a nighttime and I felt inspired. And I also did my hair, which, yes, I did cut my hair finally. And that's what I was gonna show you. Yeah, it's very short. And I tried doing my hair like, I think they're called like flapper girls, and it didn't come out too well. I didn't really have the exact pins that they use, so I just use normal bobby pins. But yeah, that's what it looks like. I don't know. I think I like it. I really do like short hair. I think I got tired of putting my hair up in a bun all the time, so it just got so sore and I just decided to chop it off. But yeah, as you can tell, today's video, it's gonna be about, my working experience for 3 days and why I quit. So I'm gonna go make some tea really quickly and we'll get into story time. So let's go. Wanted to show you guys how late it is right now. That's the outside. Oh good, Jared is so loud all the time. I love night times, they're so relaxing. And we're back. Welcome to my living room. And that is Pumpkin. She's staring at us. It's okay, just ignore her. So about, my whole work story time. I guess a good place to start is probably my first job ever. And that was at a laboratory, which is totally out of my field because I am into art. My whole degree is in art history, so like totally off the charts, like not in the same thing at all. But how I got in was through my family. So, you could probably tell where this is going. With that whole saying about don't work with family, yes, don't work with family. It really can ruin relationships. And it's sad because, it's not so much you, it's more the environment, And anyways, so that was my first job and it was at a laboratory and that's where I got most of my experience from. Now fast forward, I got married and, my husband told me not to go back to work when I quit my first job. So I didn't go back to work and I was just a housewife taking care of 4 cats, So that's where we were until today. And, we've been sort of talking about me getting another job and I was like, okay, so I've been looking and all this time I've been trying to apply into different kinds of field work. For example, like museums and stuff like that. And it is almost impossible because I have 0 experience. And sadly, where is my experience? It's in healthcare. So I decided to go ahead and apply to a healthcare position because I sort of felt like I really needed to just get a job already and I didn't really want to waste any more time. So I went ahead, applied, and they called me back instantly almost. The next day they called me back asking for a phone interview. So I did the phone interview, they called me and they didn't call me, they told me to come in the same day for an interview. So, get dressed up, go to the interview, interview went fine and the lady that was interviewing me was basically my manager and she told me that she would basically hire me. So I got the job, yay, I was excited, very excited. It's been a long time. The last time I worked was 2019. So, and yeah, so I was nervous, but I was looking forward to it. So I basically started on Monday and, I went in, I had basically 5 hours of training and the person that trained me was awesome. He was very nice. and I basically got the idea of the job, but there was still many things that I was sort of not remembering too well. And I guess it just like took a while for me to remember, but I didn't really have a good refresher of things, so I was still just lost because it's been a while. And after lunch they sat me down on my desk, and I was excited. I finally got a desk and I sat down, started doing the job, and first day actually went by pretty good. I didn't didn't really mess up, I would say, not too much. And fast forward to the second day, I was basically by myself, but again, it wasn't like too bad, the work. I was still understanding it, and I guess like the worst day was definitely the third day. And that's when, everything sort of blew up. The third day I was alone again, and the other 2 days I was still getting help, and I was still like not by myself. But the third day I feel like I was completely by myself, and I had 4 let's just say forms that I had to complete from the previous day, and I just was already behind, and there was just a bunch more forms coming in that I was just drowning, just completely drowning. And I didn't receive any help, and I was by myself basically. And with these forms, what you basically do is you have to call for each one of them and receive just eligibility and benefits basically. And I don't know if those are terms that you guys are familiar with in the healthcare world, but let's just say you have to call them, right? You have to get this information from them. And I was just sort of having, I guess, a bad day because I was already behind, so that was putting a lot of pressure on me, and I was messing up, and I was just so frustrated because I don't want to mess up. I need to get these out of the way, and it's just not happening. And so it is my fault. I do see it's my fault in that retrospect. And when I finally brought up the forms to my manager, she told me that there was a couple things that I didn't complete correctly, so I had to call back again. And sometimes these calls can take about 40 minutes, so you can already tell where this is going. I'm behind, these calls are taking forever, I'm frustrated, and not only that, lunchtime is coming up, so I'm just like, okay, I know I have to punch in before 2 p.m. because the finger thingy or whatever it is, it doesn't work correctly if you do it afterwards. So I was just freaking out and stuff, and I was sort of expecting some help, especially since I'm still new and this is my third day, and I wasn't getting it. And so I was just, I'm like, okay, you know what, just focus, try to get your work done. And that's what I tried doing. And to sort of make my life easier, I got some of the information off the online portals. And when my manager found out about that, she told me to call them instead, and I'm like, that sucks. I'm like, come on, it's like information is right there, and I had to recall them. So I'm like, okay, so I had to call them again, and what do you know? The information that was online is the same as what the representative told me on the phone. So I was just like, why do we do this? I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, I get there's maybe like 1 or 2 patients, maybe the information might not be correct, but come on, like, we don't have time for that. At least I don't have time for that, not today, And I was just already like, just mind blown, I guess. I was just like, dude, I need help, I'm drowning, dude, help me. Like, it's just, and finally, because of lunchtime, my manager finally asked one of the workers that was training me to help me out, and I was like, thank God, so I went, clocked in or clocked out for lunch, which didn't work. Instead it clocked me in for lunch, and I'm like, this sucks. So I had to get a form to fix my clock in, clock out thing. And before that, I went into the bathroom and I was just like so frustrated that I started crying. You know, I was trying to like silently cry in the bathroom. And then I'm like, okay, like pull yourself together. You're being like over dramatic. I'm like, you know, it's fine. You know, today's just a rough day. And I'm like, ugh, this is like just trying to calm myself down. So I grab my lunch and then I go outside because my sister came to visit me with my nephew. So, you know, it's a nice little area and we love to hang out there. So she came over and she was outside, and then when I saw her and my nephew, like I started crying again because I was just like, you don't know what I've gone through today, you know, in the morning. It's just like, I felt so stupid, but I just started crying again, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, and I told her, I'm like, I feel like I'm just like by myself and nobody's helping me, you know, and I'm just like, you know, just starting to make mistakes because I'm trying to rush, and it's just, you know, I'm trying to make things go smoothly and it's just not going smoothly. So that frustrates me even more, you know? So like I talked to my sister and she calmed me down. Yeah, she calmed me down a little bit. And then when I came in, like I was tearing up still because I was like still frustrated. And because I had to fix my timesheet thing with the HR department. And this is like the second day in a row that I had to fix it because the first time wasn't my problem. It was how the HR guy set it up. It wasn't my fault, it was his, so I'll put it on him. But anyways, it's not a, you know, I didn't want to put this like view that I can't do anything right. And that's how I was feeling. I was feeling like I can't do anything right, you know, I can't even punch out at lunch correctly, you know, but it wasn't my fault. I was late because I had to call on these stupid forms. And so anyways, so, you know, I got more forms to do and I was calling on them, and, you know, luckily I feel like the rest of the day was okay. It was still very busy, but you know, I'm just trying to chug along as best as I can. And then towards the end of the day, I asked my manager, I'm like, so how do you think do I have a chance here, or what do you think, you know? And I know she meant this as a joke, but she told me basically like that I'm doing okay and to pick up the pace. And I just like, my heart sort of dropped. And I know it was meant as a joke, but that's just not what I really wanted to hear that day. You know, it was already a rough day, and it's just, you know, I feel like it wasn't really my fault because I still need help. Because I'm a new, even though I have experience, I still need help in this, you know, like you guys do it differently compared to how we used to do it, or at least how I used to do it. So I don't know, it's just like when I heard that, it didn't feel good. And I just like, I was talking to my husband on the way to the car, and I was just trying not to cry again because like, I don't know, it was an emotional day. So I get to my car and then I drive home, and the second I get home I start bursting into tears, and my husband's like, what is happening, you know? And I'm like, I'm sorry. So I explained to him everything, and then like I came to the realization that I don't want to go back. I'm like, you know, I don't think this is for me anymore. Whatever it is right now, I can't do this kind of work anymore, you know? I don't know whether it's just, it was something in me, just I felt like sort of disgusted almost with that kind of job. It's maybe that's like way too crazy to say, but I think it hit me that healthcare is just not for me, you know? I've done it for 5 years, and first of all, it's not even what I like. It's, you know, I like art, you know, and it's just, I don't get why, even though I'm right now, like nowadays, it's hard to find a job. And to get out of your field, you know, I feel like that's completely like good luck to you. You'll probably never get outside of your field, at least not nowadays. And so it's just, you know, I basically came to that realization, and I tried calling, you know, to let them know that I probably, you know, well, definitely I don't want to work anymore, sadly, with them. And they weren't picking up the phone, so I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna wait until tomorrow. I'm like, I'd rather just let them know as soon as I can. So I asked my husband to drive me back. I drove back, or he drove me there. And luckily my manager was still in there and she was still working, but everybody else left. So I just came up to her and I told her straight up, I'm like, you know, like, I think healthcare is just not for me anymore. This job is just not for me. And like I basically told her, you guys are amazing. And they're amazing people. They're very nice, especially, you know, my manager. Like, I haven't really had a good manager like her before. And she obviously, like, I teared up a little bit and she hugged me and she understood. She was very understanding, and she was telling me that basically the lady that was doing this job before me, she worked for 90 days and she came from a hospital, and that I basically did better than her in 2 days. And I'm like, you know, that would have been nice to hear in the beginning of the day or something like that, you know, like earlier. Like, why couldn't you tell me that earlier instead of telling me I needed to pick up the pace? I'm like, God damn it. So it was sort of funny, but yeah, you know, even if she did tell me that, I would have stuck by my decision. When I thought about it, I'm like, you know, yeah, I could do this work, but in 5 years, I'm gonna be miserable. I'm already miserable. It's already 3 days, you know? And I could just imagine all this work being on top of me, you know, drowning every day. And I don't want that. I don't want to drown, you know? I want to rise. So I don't know. I hated it. Yeah, I think going back was a good thing. Going back into like a healthcare job, and just realizing that before I stayed there for too long, you know? So yeah, that's my story, and now I am jobless again, yay! So maybe you'll see more videos of me, probably, because I have nothing else to do. But yeah, I guess the moral of the story is, if you don't go to a job just because you have experience. If you have to, then yes, do it, obviously, but if you have the option and the time, you know, really try to find something outside of your field. And I know I'm one to talk because I can't get a job outside of my field, or rather in my field. I can't even get it, and I have a degree in it. Anyways, that's my story time. I thought I'd share with you because it's been lingering on my head this couple days, you know, so I feel better talking to you guys about it. And if you have the same story, you know, let me know in the comments. I'm curious, you know, if you went in and, you know, you knew right away it wasn't for you, let me know. I'm curious. And yeah, that concludes my story time, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night. So yeah, see ya. Bye.